Welcome to Monday. It is the 13th day of February, 2023. Your day weather podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Also being brought to you by WYDOT. The pattern is going to change after what was, one of the warmer, nicer stretches of weather that many areas saw over the weekend, especially on Saturday. Hope everyone got some fresh air, got to enjoy that little bit of thaw that came on through because the trend is colder. We've got a three-part storm pattern developing here between now and, let's say, Thursday. It's going to make the weather a little complicated, especially in terms of how folks will be impacted, because the impacts are not going to be even for everybody. There'll be some areas that get more snow than others, as we have the first system swinging through the southern plains and Rockies today and Tuesday. This first system is swinging across the southern tier of the southwestern United States, and it's going to play a role in the second system, and we'll explain that here in a minute, that rolls through with a cold surge coming out of Canada to bring snow to Montana and central areas of northern Wyoming late Tuesday into Wednesday morning. And that cold air will surge into all of the western states as we see it come in Wednesday night into Thursday. Then we're going to see an upper level low near the Four Corners area develop and move through Colorado Wednesday into Thursday. So we have this first system in the southern areas. Then we have this push of very cold Canadian air in the northern areas. Then we have this low swinging through the Four Corners area, then heading out on into the plains. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's kind of a complex scenario going on here. Two main areas of snow are going to end up developing. Two main areas where the snowfall will be the most widespread. And that'll be in the northern areas and then in the southern areas, but there will be gaps of lighter snow, not as heavy snow, kind of in between these areas. So you'll have to look at the maps carefully to kind of see where you're going to end up with the system when it comes to snowfall. But the overall writing message is that everybody's going to get cold, and we're right back into some harsh winter weather again after a nice weekend of weather, as the air will be very cold over the entire western areas of the U.S. behind this system. So this is where we start with the forecast. There's a low down there you can see in southeastern areas of Arizona. This system is going to swing this way, then get kicked up to the north and east, getting pushed out by this one. Now, this system over Arizona and New Mexico is going to play a little bit of a role to draw moisture away from this low here. So there's going to be the removal or the availability of higher humidity air for this storm to work with, because this one is going to take some of it away as it heads into the plain states. So if we didn't have this guy down here to deal with, this guy right here would be a little bit of a bigger weather maker as it drops south and east into the region. This system lifts north and east, and as it does so, this is through today. So you can see there's going to be snow in the mountains of Arizona, New Mexico, and southwest Colorado with this system, a cool, wet stretch of weather with this low coming into here. Then you can see the precipitation coming in with the cold front coming out of British Columbia and the Gulf of Alaska. And in between these systems right here, there's not much going to be going on today and into early Tuesday. However, this is by tomorrow afternoon. The low that's down here today is all the way up into Iowa by late tomorrow, while the low that was in the British Columbia area drops south into Utah very quickly. There's going to be a sharp cold front right here late Tuesday into Wednesday morning coming in, driving in behind the system. So along the frontal boundary, and as the upper level low comes in, as the surge of Arctic air comes in behind it, there's going to be an area of snowfall developing back up here in this area right here in the cold air, while this low takes some of that moisture into the Midwest. Then by noon Wednesday, this is around noon Wednesday, you can see the low is better organized now near the Four Corners area, which is a classic situation to where you can get some upslope precipitation. But due to the fact that this low here took away some moisture, as the upslope starts to form, there's not a lot of water vapor available that you normally would get. And honestly, this happens in February. This is one reason why the month of February on the plains tends to be the driest month of the winter. February storms don't tend to have a lot of water to work with. That changes in March rather quickly. So what will end up happening is we get these different pockets of heavier precipitation. So this is the forecasted precipitation through tomorrow 5 p.m., through Tuesday 5 p.m. There's this northern area of precipitation right here associated with that cold surge. Down here, this is with the upper level low, and this moisture here is associated with the low coming out of Arizona and New Mexico today. Then as we look at the snowfall forecast, this is what it looks like through 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can see Montana, northern Wyoming, into central Wyoming, back into Idaho, back into parts of Utah, the Pacific Northwest. There's going to be some snow falling with that cold surge into those northern areas. Then you can see for the front range of Colorado, southern areas of Wyoming, there's kind of a gap. There's not much going on in these areas yet. But as this low swings through and drives the colder Arctic air across the region, this is by Thursday morning, the Four Corners low kind of gets kicked out fairly quickly and lifts to the northeast. And this is the end result with the second phase of the storm. As that Four Corners low here in Colorado heads this way quickly into the Midwest, there is going to be an axis of heavier snowfall right here across eastern Colorado into western Kansas, into these areas here. And what is going to end up happening is this is where we're going to see an axis of heavier snowfall. Now, southeastern Colorado and western Kansas really need this precipitation. Good for them. This is going to be all snow, though, and you're going to have some bad travel down here. And along I-70, along I-76, and you can see down maybe even into the northern panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas there could be a significant snow event. But the concentration of the snow and the precipitation with this low is kind of compact and small. And one reason for that is the lack of better moisture available with this system. But you can see on the northern edge, we may see some travel problems up along Interstate 80 here as well on the northern edge of this. And this is one of these situations where the air is going to be really cold, so it won't take a lot of water to turn it into snow and some accumulations of snow. But you can see it's going to be eastern Colorado, western Kansas, southeastern Colorado that look to be in the bullseye of the heavier snow, as well as with that first surge of heavier snow in the Arctic air coming in behind it. And this is what the second wave of snow looks like, with the second system moving across the Four Corners region and on into the plains by Wednesday and into the day on Thursday. And there you can see the trail of the snow that's going to be happening across parts of the Corn Belt and Midwest, parts of southeastern Nebraska. But you can see southern and eastern Colorado and western Kansas. They are going to see accumulating snow several inches worth. And look at the heavy snow here in the mountains of southwest Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Look at all the snow in Arizona that's being forecasted. They have had one snowy winter in the mountains of northern Arizona, and they're going to get good snow with this one as well. There's the cold coming in behind it. So you can see the deviation in temperatures compared to average are going to be as much as 15 to 35 degrees below average. So we're going to have some very cold air roll in as we get on into Wednesday and Thursday behind the system. Long term, we have another dive bombing cold surge out of British Columbia again, kind of somewhat of a repeating pattern. So there's going to be more snow and cold weather coming our way as we head into early next week as well. And there you can see the cold air forecasted by the middle of next week behind that system. So I hope everyone enjoyed that warmer weather we had over the weekend, because the warmer weather is just not going to last long. We're going to have these interruptions with these cold shots as we go through the rest of the month. Have yourself a great Monday. We'll see you Tuesday.